Hi guys, and welcome. We are going to go over 4 steps on how to get started with cycle syncing. I know that this can be really confusing, especially if this is brand new for you. I hope you watched my video from yesterday, all about 10 ways cycle syncing can help you to motivate you to understand this new way of living. And I love cycle syncing so much because it is just how your body and your mind naturally wants to function anyway. And it's just giving you the tools and the resources to understand how your monthly cycle works and how your energy flows through it, what foods you might be craving, what exercise your body really wants you to do, and even how you can start rearranging your social calendar or activities at work to really support your body best, which then will naturally balance your hormones and make you feel unbelievably amazing. So I'm walking you through the 4 steps I use when I start working with a new client. So these are yours for free. So grab a paper and a pen and let's get started. So the first one is to take my Hormones 101 Masterclass. So this is a free masterclass that really gives you an overview of each phases of your cycle. You also get a PDF download to go over what hormones are, how they function throughout your body, how your body is different than a man's, and why we should never compare ourselves to them. So I can leave the link below, but you can always find this up on my website. You can always DM me for the link and I will pass it along. It's completely free to get started, but it's really going to give you a snapshot of your 4 phases of your cycle and like what foods you might be wanting during that week, what your energy levels might look like so you know what to look for, what fitness could feel really good during that time. So really break it down, and it's a better place to dive into each of your phases versus right here we're really just doing an overview of how you can get started. So that is an absolute must, and it's our most sought after course that women take on our website, which is awesome. So it's at balancedbombshells.com, or I can send you the link. The second one is to create your own cycle sync journal. So this is a copy of mine, and I highly recommend getting something new and fresh to start your journey. And I have all of my clients keep a cycle sync journal. This is something that you can start tracking your cycle. So you cannot master cycle syncing if you do not know how your individual cycle works. So yes, as women, our bodies were designed very similarly, but because we have varying cycle lengths, you might be feeling a little bit different at certain parts of the month than someone else, because maybe you have a longer luteal phase, maybe you have a longer period, maybe you have a shorter follicular phase than some other women. It's all completely normal and natural, but my point to you is for you to get to know your cycle. And the only way you can really start making these shifts and changes in your life is if you truly understand how your cycle is functioning. Without that knowledge, without tracking things, without writing down this data for yourself, it's going to be that much harder. It's going to be really, really hard, because I don't want you, once you have enough data, so I have my clients track their cycle for 2 to 3 months. That's 8 to 12 weeks. Like, I know it seems like a lot, but if you remember, your cycle is about 21 to 35 days, but we're just going to do the average here. So it's about 28 days, which is roughly about a month. So your body has to go through your monthly cycle, which is your whole month, to be able to have your hormones reset. Your body needs to go through each of these 4 phases for any sort of changes of healthy eating or exercise, or maybe you've been trying to get pregnant and you've been kind of changing things up. It takes an entire month for those healthy habits to show up and make a slight improvement. This is the annoying part about being a woman, because for a man, like, he might change his habits for a week and he might feel completely different after a week, because he's had basically 7 cycles for those habits to compound on top of each other, whereas us, we have to go through an entire month, which I know can be annoying, but that's why I really advocate for the slow and steady approach when balancing your hormones, and that's how you get lasting results. That's how you get to where you want to go. And I know, like, if you're in here looking for a quick fix, cycle syncing is not your quick fix. It is a lifestyle. It is very much a lifestyle that you are going to adapt and start bringing into your life, and soon it's going to become intuitive. It's just going to be what you've been wanting to live like anyway. But I just want to put that out here. Like, I know a lot of women are looking for a quick fix. We want all of that to happen really fast. And with your hormones, once they're balanced, things can happen really fast. But as you're balancing your hormones, you really do want to adopt the slow and steady approach. So let's say you incorporated some new habits this month. It's going to take an entire cycle for you to notice a slight difference. And then the next month you continue on with those habits. And then you will notice a bigger difference at the end of month 2. And then you do it again for the 10th, which will finally be creating a lot of consistency and really having you own these new habits in your life. So by the end of the 3rd month, most women notice a drastic difference by the end of the 3rd month. So all along the way, you might think like, oh, I'm not really noticing too much of a difference, but there's slight changes that you're going to start noticing. You notice slight improvements, and then all those slight improvements compound on top of each other, where by the end of 3 months, especially if you've been diligent with your habits, you're going to notice a huge difference, and you're going to be so much more motivated to keep going. And then all of these habits are just ingrained now in your life, and you won't even have to think about it. So I really recommend creating your own cycle sync journal, tracking your cycle, and writing everything down. So grab a pen and paper if you haven't already, because right now I'm going to go through what you need to start tracking to understand your cycle on a very deep level. And this is not for the faint-hearted. Like, if you want to cycle sync, you got to commit to it, you got to own it, you got to be showing up for yourself, you got to really commit to this process. People always ask me, like, how do you do it? I was really consistent. I learned my cycle. I was very on top of my priorities, and all I wanted to do was feel good about myself and have the energy to live my life. That's it. An added bonus that my skin cleared up, an added bonus that my cycle regulated, an added bonus that it improved my relationship, an added bonus that it then helped me produce more at work. So very much commit to your cycle sync journal. So you are going to track what phase you're in. Make sure you're writing the date. Write how many hours of sleep you got each night. Write what you ate for meals and snacks and how you felt afterwards. This is going to be really crucial insight, because we're going to be able to pick up if you have any food sensitivities that could be causing a lot of inflammation in your body that could be getting in the way of your hormones balancing. A lot of women don't realize they have food sensitivities, and tracking your food and how you feel after you eat is a huge sign on the foods that are making or breaking how you're thinking and feeling within your body and how your hormones are actually working. People forget the food concept with hormones, and it is a crucial. Food is your number one. So then you're going to be tracking food cravings if you have them. You're going to be tracking your energy levels. You're going to be tracking your bowel movements. You are then going to be tracking all of this stuff. And if I didn't say sleep, oh, it's fitness. Make sure you're tracking what you're doing for fitness every single day. So I do have a cycle sync guide and journal book up on our website that you can download. And so this will give you a snapshot of each of your cycle phases that you can hang up on your refrigerator. You can hang up in your office, and it goes over what your brain's doing. This complements really well with the Hormones 101 class, so I highly recommend downloading this guide. If you want the link for that as well, I can give it to you. It's under the resource tab on our website, and it's like the guide tab. But this is really great because you have space to write notes in. I give you the top tips of what to be focusing on in each cycle phase. And then you know what habits you can start doing for self-care, for fitness, for even clothes to wear. I get into that much detail within your cycle. But what's going to happen is when you're implementing that guide, you're writing down all of your stuff in your cycle sync guide. What happens is you need an entire month to have a full snapshot of your cycle. So then you're not comparing week to week. So you're not going to be like, oh, during my menstrual phase, I was feeling this way, but follicular phase, I was feeling this. You are not going to be comparing week to week throughout the month. You are then going to be pairing, and this is why it helps to do 2 to 3 cycles. You're going to start comparing menstrual phase to menstrual phase, follicular phase to follicular phase, ovulation phase to ovulation phase, luteal phase to luteal phase. So how did you feel during your ovulation phase? How did the next month, how are you feeling? Are you noticing any patterns going on? This is why writing everything down and just tracking your shit is going to help so much in understanding your body. So when I was first doing this process, I was amazed of how similar I felt in luteal phase to luteal phase, where I was able to then pinpoint very specific days because I wrote it down and I had the data of what my energy was like or what my bowel movements were like. I could to a T be able to spot when I would feel a little bit more constipated before my period. I would be able to know the exact day I would have an energy dip before my period came. I would know exactly how many days I could expect to have cramps if I was going to have them. I could then pinpoint when acne breakouts would show up, when I would feel bloated, when I would feel more tired. When you know specifically the parts of the month that you feel this way, you can then change your schedule, you can change your habits, you can change your mindset, and it is like gold. And like I said, this is not for the faint-hearted. If you're sitting here and you're like, this is overwhelming, this feels like too much, maybe you're not ready to go down this journey. But if you are ready, this is how you do it. This is how I teach cycle syncing. This is how I teach you to get to know your monthly cycle and to start living alongside it. And I'm super excited and fired up about this today because I know how overwhelming this can be. But once you just resign, you're just like, settle into the process, put yourself into my hands and put yourself over to this journey, it is going to be completely life-changing. The women I've worked with are like dumbfounded of how different they feel within 2 to 3 months. That's why my one-on-one programs are set up with a 3-month package, because I need at least 3 cycles with you to be able to get your body from where it is now to where you want to go. And like we talked about in the beginning of this video, every month compounds on top of each other. So that by the end of the 3rd month, that's when most women notice the drastic difference. So then that brings us into the next part, which is step 3, and you're going to download a cycle app. So I use the app Clue, C-L-U-E, and what I really like about Clue, I've tested so many, I've researched a lot of the cycle apps, and Clue is my favorite, and I'm going to tell you why. You're able to track your symptoms within this app. I still highly recommend writing them down so you can physically be able to see. Sometimes it's harder in an app, but you're able to track when your period is, how long your period is, what your hair is like, what your mood's like, what your skin is like. And then it's really, Clue is like the quickest app I've seen to get to know your cycle very intimately and give you very accurate updates, which other cycle apps I've had, so if you've been working on regulating your cycle, the other apps don't they don't what word am I looking for? They don't like update as well. So as I was regulating my cycle from 40 to 43 days, and I was trying to get it back down to our normal range, those cycle apps were throwing off my analysis on like the app standpoint. So just remember, this is an app. This is not like the Holy Grail. I'll get back into why Clue is my favorite in a second. But these apps were not, they kept having my cycle phases off by a few days because my cycle was regulating. Each month I was getting better, moving it back down to where it needed to be. But the cycle apps wouldn't like pick up on that, and it still kept me on my old cycle from what I signed up as. So that was really annoying. So Clue app, if you were to say, okay, right now my cycle is like 35 days, and let's say you start moving forward in balancing your hormones and you start noticing that it's now like 33 days, the Clue app in 1 month resets, and that's your new cycle. And it's then counting down from the 33 days. It's giving you predictions on your ovulation. It's giving you predictions on when your period's going to start. And I really liked that capability because your cycle can vary from month to month. It can be normal. So some months my cycle will be 30 days, sometimes it's 28, sometimes it's 29. I usually hover within that range, and it's perfectly normal to be off by a little bit. A lot of things impact your cycle, like stress, travel, the moon pulls at your cycle. It's just fascinating how your body is so in tune with the world around you. It's crazy. So Clue also sends you notifications. I could send you like almost like a text message to your main screen, like the home screen of your phone. And it tells you when your fertile window is coming up. So if you're trying to have a baby, it's going to be able to help predict that pretty well for you. And then if you're not trying to have a baby, you can be like, hey, this is the time where I need to step away. And it's really good to have that notification. What I really like about the ovulation notification is not necessarily on the fertility side, but when I'm knowing that my energy is going to be the highest, when I know I'm going to be the most social, when I know I'm going to be around people, and I really try to live by that because it really helps me feel good in my life. So I really like getting that notification. And then they'll send you another notification when your period's about to start, which is awesome. It's just so nice. It's like you're just out there living life. You don't really want to have to think about it. So it's nice a few days prior to get that notification. And for me, that's when I start shifting up some of my habits to be able to support my period better so I can avoid cramps and bloating and headaches and fatigue and all that stuff. So that to me is like, okay, I get this notification, time to switch up my habits. This is what I'm going to be doing. So definitely download Clue app. It's on your app store, wherever you get your apps. And then the fourth step is to start shifting your schedule to accommodate your new findings that you just realized all about your cycle from cycle phase to cycle phase. So if you're like, okay, I noticed that I get a little bit tired the week before my period, I'm not going to go to my regular spin class. I'm going to book a yoga class instead because that's going to be more calming to my body. It's going to feel more soothing. And I don't want to have to feel like I need to push myself to be somewhere my body's just not going to meet me right now. And it's totally cool. I'm going to wait until maybe, depending on how you feel during a period, maybe you can do it during your period, or maybe you do one the week before when your energy is really high. So you can start seeing how you're going to start shifting and matching your habits to your energy fluctuations and any of the symptoms that come up. So you can do this with work. If you're just like, if you're introverted like me, this is really helpful because I definitely appreciated stepping away from people. And then at follicular phase, ovulation, first part of luteal, I really liked being around people. So that really helped me create my calendar where I was able to talk to people and I was able to be around people, but then I also had time scheduled in my calendar to step away and take time to be alone. I could then reflect. I could do more like, self-care. Maybe I'd go get my nails done. Maybe I'd go to an acupuncture appointment. Really carving out that space for myself so that every single month you're then going to be able to match your habits to what you need in every single moment. And I think that is the biggest thing that you're going to be able to take away from this, is that you're going to be able to understand yourself so much better. You might have heard me say it before, this is next level personal development project. This is the biggest personal development project you will ever go through. And it is going to teach you so much about yourself and just why you are the way that you are. And I feel like that is so invaluable. So in the Cycle Sync guide and journal book, I also go over foods that you can be focusing on, some just shifts in the way you cook your food. So we have parts of the cycle where we're really going to be craving raw, fresh fruits and vegetables. And then we have other parts where we really want warm, comforting foods. It's actually going to be better for our pancreas, which regulates your blood sugar and your digestion. So I do all the matching for this for you, which is why the Cycle Sync guide is a really great place to get started after you do the Hormones 101 class, because I know that you don't know this stuff. I've studied it. I've applied it for years. So that's why I put that guide together, to make it as easy and simple for you as possible, especially if you're just getting started. So additional resources that you can do. So you can download the Cycle Sync guide and journal book, or you can become a member of the Balanced Bombshells lifestyle plan. So this is an 8-week online course. It's fully open to your schedule and you can complete this on your own time. I have 7 modules up there to go over the hormones that you need to know to actually be able to calm your body down in the best way possible. And I have a recipe guide in there that gives you 2 cycle synced meal plans that I personally follow myself. My food shifts as I shift during the month, and I created those meal plans for myself to actually support my body best. So you're welcome to steal and use them if you wish. And then the recipe guide also has the recipes that I personally use, and I have them matched to the cycle phases that you will feel the most benefit from. So I've already done this work for you on your food so that you don't have to think about it. You can download this, become a member of the lifestyle plan, to be able to access all this stuff. And then there is training videos each week walking you through what you're learning. So it kind of feels like I'm right there with you in your home to be able to walk you through all this stuff, because I know it can be confusing. But to really master cycle syncing, you have to know your cycle, and then you do need to know quite a few hormones and how they interact with your thoughts and your energy levels and your behavior and your food. And that's what the Balanced Bombshells lifestyle plan walks you through. It is the happy guide. It is the guide to happy hormones for high-performing women. I created it for myself and started teaching it to other women, and now it's available for any woman who wants to come in and learn her hormones. So that is a really great resource for you if you'd like to become a member of that. That is up on our website as well. It's, I think, under the tab that just says lifestyle plan, or you can DM me and I can give you the link for that. And then I know that this is also could be very, very new for some of you. So I am offering some intensives for the next week or so. So it's called Real Results Fed Up to Fired Up Intensive. And that is where you get 2 calls with me. The first one is 90 minutes long, where we're going to go over what your goals are, what your habits are like, and then I'm really going to be able to give you a simple plan of action that you can start implementing right away, so that everything is then matched to your cycle, everything's matched to your hormone profile. I'll be able to understand what your body is like by asking you a few questions. I can't really do that through here. It's very personal and individualized, so that's why I'm offering this intensive. I don't usually offer this, so it's only up for a limited time only. And then a week later, we will have a follow-up call for 30 minutes where we'll go over how you're feeling that week, what you were able to implement, and then do we need to make any more tweaks as you then move forward. So that intensive is available for the next week or so. I really hope that you'll take advantage of that, because I want to see you succeed. So you can just DM me for the link for that as well. Or if you got my email today for the Over the Hump newsletter that I send out every Wednesday, it's in the bottom of that email. The link for that program. So it's very individualized, it's very personal to you and what your body is like, what your hormone structure is like. And if you're just learning your cycle, this could be a perfect time to take advantage of that, especially if you have very specific goals in mind. I know some of you are working on fertility. I know some of you are working on weight loss. I know some of you are working on just regulating your hormones so you feel better every single day. And this intensive is really going to be able to help get you, kickstart your efforts, so you have more of an understanding of why things might not have been working before. And we're going to really dive into what your hormones are doing. So this is 4 steps on how to get started with cycle thinking, and I'm so happy that you joined me here today. Definitely drop some questions below if you have it, and then make sure to, the first step, sign up for the Hormones 101 class if you have not taken that already. It's our most sought after course. Women really appreciate it, and it's honestly, I'm still amazed. Women from all over the world find that course and start taking it. So you are in really good company, and I hope to chat with you again soon. I'll talk to you later. Bye.